up? Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today I want to show you a very simple but powerful color grading technique you can use if you want to add a little bit more smoothness or contrast into your footage. It's a very versatile effect and there are many creative applications. The effect is called a gradient and you can use it to darken or lighten specific parts of the frame. One of my favorite ways to use gradients is for adding a stylized lens flare or light leak to one edge of the footage. So without further ado, let's hop right into Premiere Pro and I can show you exactly how this is done. So once that I've done the initial color correction and grading, which I've done today using one of my LUTs, we will add a new lumetri color effect. Then we'll hop into the effect controls panel and under the second lumetri color effect, we're going to make a mask around an area that we want to add the light leak to. When you're doing this, it's important to try and look for areas that are a lot brighter. For example, in this shot, we have this gap in the trees, which we can easily take advantage of by making it look like the sun is shining right through the trees and into the lens. So I'll simply make a rectangle mask around that area and increase the expansion and feather to a very high amount to smoothen out our effect. Then we can go into that second lumetri color effect that we added and make any changes, and all those changes will happen to only that edge of the frame. In this instance, I'm going to go into curve and increase the overall exposure of the area so that we have the light leak effect. We can also change up the colors here, so I am going to push a little bit of red into that area, and I'm also going to take out a little bit of blue just so we have a nice golden glow coming right from the gap in those trees. If we look at how this clip looked before, it almost looked like a much cloudier, moodier shot, and we've brought back so much life into it, and now it looks like a sunny clip shot at golden hour. Keep in mind there is a small movement on this clip, but because the shot is so wide and the movement is so small, it's not going to matter whether or not we keyframe it. But let's look at another example. I've already made the lens flare on this clip for the sake of this video, but if we look at it, it has a very quick downward motion. In real life, the lens flare would change in shape and size depending on how far we move the camera away from it. So in order to keep this looking realistic, we're going to keyframe that light leak to go upwards while the camera is moving down throughout the entirety of this clip. All we have to do is go into the mask path and set a keyframe at the very beginning, and this is going to be our starting point for that lens flare. Then we're going to scrub all the way to the end of that clip and set another keyframe. Then we can drag that mask to be at the top of the frame or even out of sight depending on the clip. Now it should look like the lens flare is moving up and corresponding with the movement on that clip. My second favorite way to use this effect is to darken a specific area so that it draws attention to certain parts of the footage. So to do this, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to create a new lumetri color effect and mask that to only be on the bottom part of the frame, and we're going to enlarge the mask and feather it quite a bit. Now we'll just go into curves and lower the shadows just a bit to add more contrast into the shot. Now you can see we've added a really nice darkening effect to the bottom corner of the footage, and it can really help enhance a shot when you do it right. I'll show you one more creative way to use this effect. We can create fake fog by lowering the contrast of a specific area. For this instance, I'm going to use this shot because we have some nice depth in this frame. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a new lumetri color, make a mask, and this time we're just going to bring up the exposure just a bit and lower the contrast slightly. Since fog comes and goes, you can just use this to create continuity between two clips, or you can of course use this to complement fog that is already there. This might not work so well on footage that is sunny or that isn't foggy already, so keep that in mind. I don't usually use gradients in this way, but if the time ever comes, it will really come in handy. And again, I only showed you 3 creative ways to use this effect, but there are so many creative applications out there. You can make the sky look pink for a sunrise, you can add any other light source, you can add light rays, so definitely feel free to take the techniques that you learned in this video and apply them creatively to your own project. And again, if you do want to see a more in-depth way about the way that I color grade my videos, definitely click on this video right here. You can see my whole process and probably learn some more techniques along the way. But that's it for me today. Don't forget to pick up your camera, get creative, and I will see you in the next one.